Hey everybody, I am here in Seattle, Washington at GoPlay Northwest. It's an annual tabletop gaming convention on the first weekend of July here at Seattle University. And I've been attending this con for almost 10 years now, almost as long as it's been running. And it's a real special one for me. This is where Dungeon World was first incepted. So close to my heart and close to my home too. It's a nice drive down the coast from Vancouver. I've been wanting to do more kind of non-Let's Play content for my channel, and I thought this would be a good example to share some of the stuff that I do when I'm not on stream. So what I want to do this weekend is, besides playing games and eating food and hanging out with my nerd friends, I wanted to share some of the stuff that goes on at a little convention like GoPlay with you, so that, I don't know, maybe if you like it, you'll come along next year, or you can find a convention near you that's similar to this one. Some things that I really like about GoPlay is that it's very much about playing games, right? People come here to hang out while they play board games and tabletop role-playing games, and there's loads of really cool new designs that get shown off at GoPlay. It's cool. In tabletop role-playing, a lot of the time, the way that cons work is it's people who are design-minded and who have their own games that they're working on, but that don't necessarily get to spend a ton of time together in person. So with an event like GoPlay, which is in the Pacific Northwest, where there's all kinds of great game designers, we all get to kind of come together and share our designs and play test weird little things and work on stuff. So it's a hotbed of new RPGs, so hopefully I'll get to play test something cool this weekend. What's really neat for me about GoPlay particularly is that I get to come here and hang out with game devs that I really only see at GoPlay. I've met a lot of really great people here. Sage Latora, who I worked on Dungeon World with, Tony Dowler, who's a fantastic fantasy and sci-fi cartographer, and of course, my friend and yours, John Harper. So lots of cool people here at GoPlay this weekend. And what I'm going to try to do is do a little bit of interviewing with the various nerds of GoPlay Northwest. Maybe you'll see some familiar faces, and just talk to them real quick about something they're excited about for the con, something cool they saw, and give you an idea of what the convention is like, not just from my perspective, but from all of theirs. So let's go check it out.
I'm Nate Marcel, and I've been to 4 GoPlays so far, I think, since 2010 was my first one, and I love each and every one, and I always see people playing lots of games, people making lots of friends, and I have made friends, and I love talking with people.
I'm John Powell. This is my 9th out of the 10 GoPlay Northwest. And one cool thing, I'm super looking forward to playing Over the Edge with Jonathan Tweed.
Hey everybody, it's day number 2 of GoPlay Northwest, and if you listen real carefully, you can hear somebody jamming in the other room. It's really cool being around all these people who are getting super hype about playing role-playing games, which, as you know, is kind of my jam. Yesterday, I got to hang out with John Harper, with Eric Vulgaris, and with some of the other folks who I only ever really get to see at GoPlay. And while we didn't do any gaming, we hung out and talked about games a lot. The day's divided up into 3 slots. There's a morning slot, an afternoon slot, and an evening slot. And usually I like to keep the morning slots free. I will pick up a little board game or just like work on a design that I've been working on. It's kind of nice to have a space where you can sit down and, do some writing and make some notes when you're surrounded by people who are engaged with doing game stuff themselves. That's kind of how I've designed a lot of the things that I've felt like proudest about game-wise, is like just hanging out in the presence of other people, not necessarily doing anything with them, but with them, playing a video game or playing a role-playing game, and I'm sitting quietly at a table, making notes about Dungeon World. And that's how all that came about. So this kind of energy is really good for making me feel creative. So I'll probably start making some notes about our ongoing campaigns. I do have a slot filled this afternoon. I'm going to play Falling Sky, which is a GMT board game. It's part of the Coin series. I think you've probably heard me mention them before. They're a series of historical war games about counterinsurgency. So the first few games are kind of what you'd expect from a game like that, right? Cuba in the 50s, South America in the 90s, the insurgency and counterinsurgency in Afghanistan in the modern era. But this game is set in the 50s BC, and the insurgents are the Gallic tribes. So I'm pretty excited to either play as Caesar or to give Caesar what's coming to him. So I'm doing that this afternoon, and then probably dinner with some nerds, and we'll maybe pick up a role-playing game at the end of the day. I'm thinking maybe World of Dungeons, or hopefully I can get into some kind of like short-form LARP. And then off to bed, because it's an early start on Sunday for 3 more slots of games. So I'll take lots of pictures and film lots of things, and you'll have more to see between now and then. Bye.
Hi, I'm Mike Berkey, also at ManBearGeek on Twitter. My favorite thing about GoPlay Northwest was playing Dialect. It's a really cool game where you build your own language, and then you're using that language to talk to each other, and you build this whole story of a community with it. It's really great.
Hi, my name's Colin. One cool thing I saw at GoPlay Northwest was Fall of Magic, which I played with Ross Kalman and 2 other awesome people, and we had a great time escorting the Magus across the world on a really heartwarming journey.
Hi, I'm Dan. One of the coolest things I saw at GoPlay is new people meeting each other.
One cool thing from GoPlay this year was the Better Living Through Robotics LARP. It was equal parts yelling and crying, and everyone had an amazing time at the end.
Awesome. And who are you? What's your name?
Oh, my name is Karen Twelves.
So I just finished my first game at GoPlay Northwest. We played a board game called Falling Sky. Falling Sky is a game, it's part of the Coin series. It's by GMT Games. And GMT is a California games company that has been making complex historical war games for, several decades now. I'm not sure exactly how long. But the Coin series is still relatively new. There's, 6 games in the series, and each one deals with a different counterinsurgency in real-world history. So it touches on such conflicts as the Vietnam War, the war in Afghanistan, the communist revolution in Cuba. But the game that we were playing today, Falling Sky, is based in a much more distant historical period. It's set during the Roman conquest of Gaul. And in fact, the response by the Gallic tribes to Julius Caesar and his fascist legions stomping around in Western Europe. It was really fun. I love this series of games. I think it does an amazing job of creating an environment in which every character, every player, you control a faction. Every player's faction has a goal that they're going after, but they're very directly influenced by the other factions, and there's some very cool Venn diagram overlapping of character faction goals in that game. So I might want one thing, and in trying to get that one thing, I might be accidentally helping another player get the thing that they need to win, but they're helping someone else and someone is helping me. And so there's this very delicate balance of being aggressive about going for your goals, but also being careful that while you're doing that, you don't have another player sneaking up behind you in your wake. And the way that the games work is they build towards what are called in this case, winter turns. They're winter in this, they're propaganda phases in some of the other games. They all have a different name for them, but in our game, winter means that you check to see what the win conditions are for everybody. You check everyone's victory, and if anyone has won, that's when the game stops. So these games can have a variable length between a couple of hours or a whole night of play. Our game ended on the first winter turn because of some very shrewd playing by one of the players. The game has kind of a Mario Kart blue shell effect where the person who is most obviously in the lead often gets targeted by the other players. So to win, you have to be a little sneaky. You have to kind of subtly move yourself towards one big push right before winter happens. And in this case, the Aedui tribes defeated my Arvernai under the leadership of Vercingetorix. They defeated the Roman legions, they defeated the Belgian tribes, and snuck their way to victory right at the end. It was a really fun game, and I suggest that if you're into asymmetrical play, if you're into historical games, if you're into the idea of historical insurgencies, definitely check the series out. There's a whole bunch of different games, and one of them is bound to pique your interest. Falling Sky is a good one because it's nice and simple. I'd suggest if you're looking to get into the series, start there, or start with Liberty or Death, which is the American Revolution, or with Cuba Libre, which is our Marxism in Cuba game. So coin games, GMT. That was my first game here at the con, and it was really fun.
One cool thing I saw at GoPlay Northwest this year was Morgan Ellis running a Street Fighter, Streets of Rage style Fate game that used quarters for Fate points and involved a lot of punching and cool catchphrases.
Hey, my name is Ross Kalman, and one cool thing I saw at GoPlay Northwest was Karen 12's Improv for Gamers workshop. Super great, super good times.
Hi, I'm Jerry Tidwell. One cool thing I saw at GoPlay Northwest this year was Ross Kalman's The Fall of Magic. I liked it so much, I got the game. I heard a lot about this game. I've been dying to play it. I finally got an opportunity to play it with the creator, and that was just amazing. And it was everything I heard it was and more. I highly recommend it if you're into narrative story games with sort of a dream flow to them. It's excellent.
Hello, I'm Kelsa. And I just got done playing a really cool game that I liked a lot. It was called The House, and basically you emulate being on a reality television show. And we did it over Skype, where one person would leave the room and do a Skype call in to make a confessional, and we all watched it, and it was amazing. It was all of the drama and all of the humor. It was really fun. Loved it.
Hi, I'm Eric Lewandowski on the internet at Eric Vulgaris on Twitter and Twitch. And my favorite experience from GoPlay so far was this game that I just played called The House, which is all about sort of like reality TV show confessional games where you play with actual like Skype video, and you just do these sort of like confessional scenes with your Skype video while everyone else in another room hearing you just talk smack about them. And it's just this uproariously hilarious time. Oh my god, it was so good. The group that we had was amazing, mostly strangers, and we just all came together with this game in a great way. And you can't ask for anything more than that, you know? So.
My name's Hillary, and the coolest thing I saw at GoPlay this year was a faucet with a secret compartment.
I also had the opportunity to hang out with some Math Squad folks, which is always a delight. So if you're watching this and you're one of those folks, thanks for coming out. It's always really nice to run into fans. And at these little cons, it's especially cool because I can sit down and talk to people about, you know, why they like watching the shows or what those shows taught them about whatever role-playing game that we're playing. That kind of stuff is really a big part of why I like playing games on Twitch. If you know me, you know I like to teach and encourage people to play games on their own and to GM and to try new things. So sharing that kind of story with me is really, it's really touching. So if you're ever at a con, definitely come on up and say hi. I feel a special feeling in my black sorceress heart every time I see somebody wearing a NERPS t-shirt or a Mirror Shades shirt or a Swan Song shirt. It fills me with glee. So definitely come on out and say hi if you see me at a convention, and I promise it won't be weird. Well, I mean, I might make it weird. I won't. So yeah, that's how GoPlay's going so far. I'm gonna go and grab something to eat, and we've got another slot for more games tonight. So wish me luck.
Hi, I'm Paul Riddle, and one cool thing I saw at GoPlay was Eden. It's a game where you get to explore the Garden of Eden and ask animals and learn from them. It's really neat.
Hi, I'm Morgan Ellis, and one cool thing I saw at GoPlay was a bunch of players finding a secret back alley in the side-scrolling beat-em-up portion of the game.
Hi, my name is Via Wing, and I'm here at GoPlay Northwest 2016. And the cool thing that I saw was Mark Hobbs' game Eden. I play tested it like about a year ago, and after playing it on Friday, I was like, wow, it's so much more different, and it's really cool. You get your own like personal animal in the game that teaches you lessons, so it was a lot of fun. Mine was bunnies.
Hi, I'm Kate. This is my first GoPlay, and something that was wonderful that happened is that I got into a deep conversation mid-LARP about human-robot consent and sexual relationships.
Hey, I'm Dylan, and one cool thing I saw at GoPlay was Monster Hearts.
It's Sunday morning, and it's the last day here at GoPlay, and I just wanted to pop in and talk a little bit about a game I got to play last night. So after playing board games in the afternoon and getting food and going through the whole rigmarole, we ended up back at the convention kind of late and needed a game that we could just sort of throw together. And John ran for us his game that they've been working on called A Storm Eternal. You can check it out online. There's a pre-alpha version called thestormeternal.com, I think is where the website is. And it's a sort of young adult Monster Hearts meets Game of Thrones kind of epic fantasy. It's an offshoot of Apocalypse World. Vincent Baker made a sort of hack of Apocalypse World called Apocalypse World Dark Age, and it never really went anywhere. There was just a couple of pages of game, and then he moved on to another project, as game designers do. But Sage and John Harper and Paul and Shannon Riddle were playing it in their local group and decided to drift it in this other direction. So I played that game with Strash, Hillary, and myself as players, and John as our GM, and we made a little story about the sort of coming apocalypse. Strash's character was a grizzled old war veteran whose job it was to be the Giles to my Buffy. My character was a young boy who was taken from his parents at a young age because of a prophecy that he would become a famous monster slayer. So that's what I was. I was this little maladjusted monster hunter kid. And then Hillary was a character who was of noble birth and who suddenly had developed a cult following of all the nobility around her, who had suddenly become obsessed with her. And there was this power from the sea that was rising, and there were these armies that were coming to the castle. And we just played out a couple of short scenes to see, what would happen. It was cool to be able to pick up a game and play it in, 2.5 hours, when usually I tend to consider 4 hours about the minimum amount of time that I can commit to a game before I start to feel like I really get it. The game is still really unfinished, and by design, right? I wouldn't be able to run it. I think that the only reason it worked as well as it did was because John was the GM, which speaks to his skill as a GM, but also to the fact that the game isn't quite finished. So if you're curious about seeing the sort of building blocks of an Apocalypse Engine game in progress, and you haven't already, go check out A Storm Eternal and give it a try at home. Maybe you can run it. Maybe you'll have some notes for John and Sage and the Riddle.
Hi, my name's Jamie. One cool thing I saw at GoPlay was Beat Spectrum. It was super awesome.
My name is Lucian Smith. One cool thing that I did at GoPlay Northwest was find my mother in Meridian.
Hi, I'm Ben. One cool thing I saw at GoPlay was the story game Loose Leaves, a great three-person game.
So my name is Brian Stone, and Dante for Math Squatters.
And the coolest thing probably one of the coolest things that I saw this weekend was Falling Sky with Adam, Kelsa, and Hillary. And it was an absolute blast. It was very interactive across the teams. Pretty much no matter what your board position was, you always felt like you could interact with other people. That was really cool. Plus, I got to beat Adam at a deception game, so...
My name is Tony Dowler, and one cool thing I saw at GoPlay Northwest was 140 gamers coming together to have fun.
So it's just about 2 in the morning. It's, I guess, Monday morning now, and I just got home from GoPlay, and I am exhausted, but I wanted to take a second just to decompress about the last day. So I got to play one more board game. We played Liberty or Death, which is another game in the coin series, which I told you about before. I learned that Dante Dota, aka Bryant, who you saw in one of the interviews earlier, is a merciless counterinsurgency player. So, good work, Dante. Not a lot of role-playing games that I got to play this weekend, but that's sort of on purpose, right? I spent a lot of time playing role-playing games. So actually, what's been really fun for me, and I was having a conversation with somebody at the con about this, what's really fun about these cons for me now, knowing that I get to play RPGs all the time, is getting to hang out with people and hear their stories, and to watch them play games, and to take photos and shoot video, and get to do little short interactions with people and sort of feed off their excitement. So that's been something that's been really exciting for me, and I hope to be able to do more of this at future game conventions, whether next year's GoPlay or Gen Con or something else. I know this is kind of my very first real vlog outside of my normal video structure, so I hope you enjoyed it, and it's only going to get better from here. So I hope if you like it, you'll leave me a comment, let me know you were into it, and let me know what other kinds of things you'd like to see me make videos about, because I could definitely see myself getting into doing more videos like this. It was super fun. So hopefully you enjoyed your little window into GoPlay Northwest, and we will see you back on the channel next time. Bye everybody.